Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I just had to run back inside and grab my fanny pack, my purse, because I was sitting out here and I was reading through comments on videos, and I downloaded some music. I downloaded some music from the soundtrack to, I don't know what made me think about this. Oh, well, I had a Patti LaBelle song soundtrack, or New Attitude by Patti LaBelle, came up on my iPad, and I love that song, but it was also in the movie Beverly Hills Cop. I love the whole Beverly Hills Cop movie franchise. So I was looking up on iTunes, or on the iTunes store, like the album for Beverly Hills Cop, because I know somewhere I have like the tape cassette in the basement. But you have to buy the whole album to have all the songs, and I didn't want the whole album. So I was going in here and individually I bought the songs. I bought Stir It Up by Patti LaBelle. I love that song. And then I bought Axel F, that song. That's like the very, you know, like the song when they're like on the chase. And then the other day I bought the Noah Reid. He plays Patrick in Schitt's Creek. I bought his version of Simply the Best, and then I bought Tina Turner's version, which is called The Best. And then there was another song from Schitt's Creek that I bought called Precious Love, which is really, really good. Anyway, my iTunes is just absolutely so random. I should put it on like song, and well, hold on a second. Let me turn the volume down. Okay, I'm gonna put it on. First of all, Peter, you're getting way ahead of yourself. I'm back to loving the Huckleberry lip balm. Our governor is insinuating that he's going to open everything back up on Friday, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I talked to several people today, and they were like, well, the malls are opening on Saturday. And I was like, okay, well, I can tell you one person that won't be there, and that's me. I don't know. I just feel like we're not talking about, like, well, what are we going to do when we go? Like, you know, is it just going to be, like, you walk past the Apple store and there's 300 people in there? I mean, is it just going to be, like, the same as it was before? I don't feel like we're, you know, I don't know. I'm going to wait till Friday and see what is said. But, okay, let's go in here. Who is this Axel F by? It's called Axel F. Single. So I'm gonna go in here to my songs. So I love to drive around and put my iPod on shuffle from my phone and then just play songs. So you guys, I have the most random assortment of music. I will just go straight through and tell you one song to the next what comes up. I have the most random assortment of music on my iPad. I don't know how do you find out how many songs you have? I don't know, but shuffle. First song that came up is called Muchacha. I actually just downloaded this song the other day, and I'll mispronounce the band, but it's Gente de Zona and Becky G. I love this song. And, okay, let's go to the next song. The Flower Duet. Do you guys know that song? It's classical music. Mr. Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan. I'm just going, like, straight through here and just, like, reading these. Get Down On It by Kool and the Gang. Wake Me Up by Avicii. We have already, in 5 songs, gone through like 5 genres of this is hilarious. Okay. Norman F. Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. Love Without End, Amen by George Strait. Y'all know I'm a huge country music fan, right? I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. Wildflowers by Tom Petty. Demons, The National. Little Talks of Monsters and Men. Hero, Family of the Year. I think that's a song that was in that movie with, shoot, what's her face? Why can't I think of her name? I love that movie so much. It's a Linklater movie. Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish. I love her too. Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Just One Day, Mighty Oaks. Highway Don't Care, Tim McGraw. I'm Burning Up. So this is from the soundtrack to Body Heat, which is maybe one of the most fantastic soundtracks to any movie ever. Adventures in Solitude by the New Pornographers. I love that song. Okay, so this is really funny. And if you've watched my vlog for a long time, you'll know what I'm talking about. There was a documentary that I watched. I should actually just go through and I should like pick up song, go through and like shuffle. I'll start over and I'll shuffle it again, and then I'll tell you guys stories related to like why I would download a song or why I like that song. That's kind of a fun idea. Don't you think that's kind of something different? Anyway, let's get into like, first I'll tell you like what I did today. I did not a whole lot today. Last night I stayed up late and I watched like 3 episodes of Schitt's Creek, 2 or 3 episodes. Did I watch that many? 2 episodes. I finished season 4. You guys, I texted Alex today while I was watching it downstairs and he was watching a movie upstairs. And I said, what did I say? Something about it being a cry fest. He's sending me because he just watches TikToks left and right. He sends me TikToks all. So like, while I'm working downstairs, he like sits upstairs, you know? And so like he'll just send me TikToks while I'm like filming videos and stuff. I said, Schitt's Creek is just one big cry fest. And he said, what episode are you on? And he said, I love that show so much. And I said, the Christmas Party, last episode of season 4. And he said, oh yeah, that's a sweet one. So anyway, I finished that, and then I feel like I watched the first 2 episodes of season 5. But there's only season 5, and I'm real sad because it's going to be over, you know? But anyway, so, okay, I got up today, and what did I do? It's like been raining most of the afternoon. Alex worked out in the yard the other day, and he has been in so much pain for like the last 2 days. It was like 2 days ago. And he's like, my back is so sore, I'm so out of shape, and so he's been like just relaxing a lot, and hasn't been really doing a whole lot of anything. What else did we do? I filmed 1 video today for my drama channel. Oh, I listened to a lot of my audiobook today. I'm trying to finish Camino Wins. I have like an hour left of it, so I'll probably finish that tonight. And then I think tomorrow, I actually downloaded another book. Can you believe it? I think tomorrow I'm going to read, when I finish this, Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I'm gonna try to get it done like in 1 day. It's like 3 hours. I can get that done in 1 day. And then I'm gonna start listening to on May 1st Dead Ends, which is the Eileen Wuornos book, because I wanna spend the whole month really focused on Eileen Wuornos. But I bought this book. It's like, you guys, my eyesight is so bad. Oh, screw it. I'm not gonna put my glasses on. I bought this book called Origin. And it was so funny because I was like reading it and I was like, this sounds really good, actually. It was because it was recommended on Audible. It was like, if you loved Run, you will love these books or whatever. And that's kind of how I find books a lot, you know? And Run was the Blake Crouch book that I really liked. And so I started reading the synopsis and I was like, this kind of sounds good. Like, this sounds like something that I would like. And, I mean, it's not real deep or anything like that. But then one of the reviews, somebody wrote, they gave it 5 stars, and they were like, this book is absolutely action-packed. You can't put it down. I almost didn't buy it. I've never heard anything about it, but I just happened to read, it just said, I just happened to read a review right before I was going to sign off one night, and then the review sounded good, and I ended up getting it, and I thought, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, that's almost exactly like what I'm doing here. Okay, I want to read you the synopsis for this. It's by J.A. Conrath. I mean, the title and everything about it, there's like nothing that fancy about it, but it got really good ratings. I was really surprised. Here it is, Origin. Let's see how many reviews it has on here. 5,542. Oh, it's the second one in a series. And it came out in 2009. There were 6 books in the selection. Origin, The List, Afraid, Trapped, and Endurance are the first 5 and can be read in any order. The 6th, Haunted House, contains characters from each of the previous books. Okay, so here's the book. Okay. Jack, okay, wait. Digs into the vaults and unearths a techno horror tale from the depths of hell, 1906. Something is discovered by workers digging the Panama Canal. Something dormant, sinister, very much alive. 2009, Project Samhain. A secret underground government installation begun 103 years ago in New Mexico. The best minds in the world have been recruited to study the most amazing discovery in the history of mankind. But the century of peaceful research is about to end because it just woke up. Book description. When linguist Andrew Dennison is yanked from his bed by the Secret Service and taken to a top secret facility. Now, at the time that this book would have come out is when Da Vinci Code came out, around that time, or before that, and then it was just like this rampage of kind of like yanked out of bed in the middle of the night kind of books that were very similar to the Da Vinci Code. And some of them are done very, very well, and some of them aren't. But anyway, when linguist Andrew Dennison is yanked from the bed by the Secret Service and taken to a top secret facility in the desert, he has no idea he's been brought there to translate the words of an ancient demon. He joins pretty but cold veterinarian Son Jones, eccentric molecular biologist Dr. Frank Belgium, and a hodgepodge of religious, military, and science personnel to try and figure out if the creature is indeed Satan. But things quickly go bad, and very soon, Andy isn't just fighting for his life, but the lives of everyone on Earth. Origin by J.A. Conrath. All hell is about to break loose. For real. Origins. Okay. Anyway. Says how many words it is. I don't know why we would care about that. How many words is it? Let's see. My book was 78,000. For real. Approximately 76,000 words long. And is specifically formatted for Kindle with an active table of contents. Oh, okay. But anyway. Oh, it's not getting the greatest reviews over here. Well, that was unexpected, someone says. This is a book that has been on my Kindle for months. But anyway, I got that. It was cheap. I actually didn't use one of my credits. I just bought it. I think it was like, I mean, it wasn't super cheap, but it was close enough to the cost of a credit that I just bought it outright. I think it was like 13. What is this? This book is called The Night Before. What is this? This is what happens as I get on Goodreads or Audible and then I can't get off. No, that doesn't sound like something that I want to read. Did you guys hear that Stephenie Meyer has a new book coming out that wrote the Twilight series? I mean, isn't it kind of interesting that she hasn't read anything in so long? I thought it might have on here what it was, but nothing. And the one that wrote, what's the book called? The Mockingjay? Is that what but what's the first book called? Hunger Games. The woman that wrote the Hunger Games, she has a new book coming out. Suzanne Collins. And actually, David Levithan, who's like one of my all-time favorite authors, he's like the editor on it. I saw something about him, like he was like talking about it on Instagram. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because I want to talk about this. I think this might be an adult book that she has coming out. Should be interesting. I love the Hunger Games. I thought they were great. Here it is. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Okay, it's saying that it is Hunger Games 0, so it would start before. Oh, I did read about this. Didn't I read about this on here one night? It is the morning of the reaping that will kick off the 10th annual Hunger Games in the capital. 18-year-old Coriolanus Snow is preparing for his one shot at glory as a mentor in the games. The once mighty house of Snow has fallen on hard times, its fate hanging in the slender chance that Coriolanus will be able to outcharm, outwit, and outmaneuver his fellow students to mentor the winning tribute. The odds are against him. He's been given the humiliating assignment of mentoring the female tribute from District 12, the lowest of the low. Their fates are now completely intertwined. Every choice Coriolanus, I know I'm butchering that name, I don't remember how to pronounce it, makes could lead to favor or failure, triumph or ruin. Inside the arena, it will be a fight to the death. Outside the arena, Coriolanus starts to fear for his doomed tribute and must weigh his need to follow the rules against his desire to survive no matter what it takes. Isn't Snow the one that like ran the whole thing? Snow from Hunger Games. I'm almost positive. Yes. He's the president. Well, that's interesting. It's not necessarily the direction that I would have taken it, but I'm just saying, you know. We always want to go back. It's like the V.C. Andrews books. It's like you go to start with Flowers in the Attic, and we end up with Seeds of Yesterday. I don't really, by the end of the series, want to know how the series started. Like, I'm never that interested in that. I would rather have them go from where the series ended and keep on going. Like, that's what I'm interested in. You know, I'm not interested so much in how it all started. I could really care less by that point. I know that's probably bad, but whatever. Anyway, so, yeah, what else did I do today? Not a whole lot, that's it. Sarah stopped by and left some stuff on our front porch. She brought us, you guys, it's so adorable. We put it on our back porch, and Alex put some nuts on it. It is a squirrel picnic table. I will be reviewing it for my review channel. It will be making its appearance. It is so adorable. It's a picnic table for squirrels, and you, like, can bolt it into a tree, or you can like just set it on your patio. We have ours just set on our patio, and it's the cutest little thing. She got one for herself, and so she got us one too, and I think she got one for her mom, and so she dropped it off today and was so excited to see it. Like, she told us that she had ordered it for us, but so there was that. And then Alex finished the show. He watched this movie last night called The King. I thought it was like a series, but it wasn't. That was last night. I don't know what he was watching tonight. I can't remember. Well, tonight he was watching like just reality TV stuff. And, but he was watching like some series on Netflix throughout the day today. I think maybe he might have started that Outer Banks. I'm not sure. He finished that What If. He had one episode left, like yesterday or the day before. He goes through series like nobody's business. Like, he really does. And then we ate dinner, and I made like I had soup and a cheese sandwich. I didn't order any new bread. It was actually really good. I used his sunbeam bread and I toasted it, and it, for some reason, tasted so different. It was really good. And that was when he was watching his show. I honestly don't even know what he was watching. Anyway, I was sitting there and I was watching Schitt's Creek. I don't know what the episode was that I was watching. Now I can't remember. What was it? Oh, you know what? Last night was when I watched the singles one, and then I finished up the Christmas episode today, and then I feel like I watched like the first episode of this season today too, though. Let's see. They'll probably say I'm on like the third episode, and I'll be like, well, what happened? I don't remember. No, I'm on the first episode. Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember what happens now. And then that was about it. I didn't really do a whole lot. I talked to Tanya for a little bit today. And I talked to my cousin Caroline. I talked to my dad for a couple minutes today. And I feel like the day went by really quick, actually. And then I ate dinner. And I went and took a nap. I took a really, really long nap tonight. Boo Radley came upstairs with me. I took like a 2.5 hour nap. It was really nice. It just was rainy and drizzly all day today. So anyway, who cares about all that? Let's go through so that was my day. Did you guys have a good day? Did you have a fantastic day? My day was just kind of like whatever. What else did I do? I feel like I did something else. I don't know, but anyway. I don't remember. Let's go through here to the songs. Oh, the first thing I was going to say was the song that I have on here because I want to tell the story. Adventures in Solitude. What's the band called? The New Pornographers. I don't really know much about them. I just know that song. But if you watch my vlog for a while, okay, I go through periods where like I get like I have to go look up like old shows that I watched. There was a whole part on here where I went back in and I watched all of the episodes of the show. It was a documentary on investigative, no, it was on HBO, and it was called Living Dolls. And it was about, it was the one where Swan Bruner is in it, and it was about little girls in beauty pageants and like the whole pageant system. I love that whole pageant system stuff, and I used to love to watch all of those movies back in the day and all that kind of stuff. But it was like really, there was like this Jenny girl in there. I think she was like 12 or 13. She ended up passing away after the documentary was shot. The whole thing was really tragic, and then her mom died, and there's just a lot of like sadness and weird things that kind of like circled around this whole documentary. The girl Swan Bruner, that was like the big winner of like all of these. It was like a weekend with, so it was a build up to these pageants, and then there was like one big pageant at the end, which was what the whole show was about. I was talking about it the other day when I was talking about they were all sitting around, and that woman was like, you know, that's what friends are for, through good times. I could totally see the scene in my head. You can watch all of them on YouTube. It's called Living Dolls. I'm almost positive they're all up there, but they're like in 10-minute spots, so you have to like watch 10 minutes at a time. My friend Courtney, that if you saw on here when I went to that Reve thing, which was actually, God, it seems so weird that Jason's been gone almost a year. Alex's friend Jason, if you didn't watch the vlog a year ago, we went to this like Gala fundraiser. It was actually for Indiana University, their hospital, and so they do like a fundraiser every year on the racetrack. In Indianapolis, the Indy 500, which now has been postponed until August, and they're speculating that it might not even happen in August. Part of the reasons why is because the race car drivers have to come here for a month or two before to start racing on the track. The month before, they do trials, and people go out there every day and watch it and whatever. Well, most of these race car drivers are from all around the world. So the reality is we may not be able to have the race this year. But race day month and Memorial Day weekend, and like when I say this to people from other places, they like have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm like, well, I don't, like I was telling Mel, I was like, we're gonna have to see like what's going on for Memorial Day weekend, because I don't know that we can do the book club this day. And she's like, what's it gonna matter? We're gonna be inside anyway. Like Indianapolis, and like I kind of hadn't even really thought that way because it's race day month, you know, or race month. Like the Indy 500 in Indianapolis is like the whole month, the whole city shuts down for it. I mean, it's crazy. And everything you go, you see black and white, like the racing flags, you know, the checked racing flag. And so what was I gonna say about all that? Anyway, Alex's closest male friend, his closest guy friend was Jason. And we went last year. Alex went with a group of people. He's still friends with them, but Alex went as a date to one of Jason's really good friends. And Jason actually sat on the board of this thing called Reve. And Reve is a fundraiser that they do, like Rev Your Engines. And it's a fundraiser they do that's actually like right by the track. And so at the end of Reve, it started at like 6 or 7. Melissa and Jason were there. It was like so many people in Indianapolis were there. It was like really, really dressy. And we wore suits and stuff. And at the last minute, my friend Courtney, who, the way that we met Courtney was Miss Indiana USA 2010, I think, 2009. We got married in 11. So she would have been 9. So she was Miss Indiana USA 2009. And Alex and I have always been real involved in pageants in Indianapolis. And so we met her through our friend Brittany, who was Miss Indiana USA 2008, who also made top 10 at the Miss USA pageant. She's one of our dearest friends to this day. She married us. She's the director of Miss Ireland Universe. And she's getting married very soon, and we love her. And she actually officiated our wedding. So anyway, Courtney called and asked if Alex was going because she knew that he really wanted to go to this fundraiser. Well, Alex was already going with somebody else. So she said, well, would Peter want to go? And you guys know I have a lot of social anxiety, and these are things I don't like to do. But anyway, I ended up going with Courtney, and we had such a blast. We had such a great time. And then she ended up leaving early. Courtney has a daughter, so she ended up leaving early to get home. And so she didn't stay late. So I hung out with Melissa and Jason for the rest of the evening, and then Alex and his friends and stuff, and we all were dancing, kind of like all of us. It was really, really fun. And then we spent the whole evening with Jason. Well, and Jason came over to our house because he actually picked up Alex that night to take him to go, like they were meeting up at a friend's house. And I loved Jason. He was this great guy. And, oh, I know why he had another ticket now, because he and his girlfriend had just recently broken up, like the weekend before. And so he was here, and like he came inside, and we were like all talking, and I was like, are you doing okay with the breakup and stuff? He's like, yeah. And Jason was a really nice guy. Jason was somebody that like went to third world countries, and he would go there for like 6 months at a time and do like these, not like religious missionary work, but he would, you know, build houses and do education retreats and things like that. He just was such an amazing person. And just a really, really cool guy. Came from really poor background and struggled, and he played football, and he got football scholarships, and kind of was self-made, and just a really, really neat guy. And when he took Alex under, like when he met Alex, he kind of took Alex under his wing. Like they loved music festivals, so they went to a lot of music festivals together. And so anyway, that was, Reve was that weekend, and then I think it was the following weekend. It was either the following weekend or 2 weekends after that. Jason went to a music festival, and he was driving back with a friend, and Jason was driving, and he was killed in a really horrible, tragic car accident. Like, instantly killed. And Alex was devastated, as was I. It seems so strange that that was a year ago. Coming up on a year. I've never been so proud of my husband. He gave the most beautiful speech. They did this, so friends of ours own this place downtown where they have like a lot of like DJ concerts and stuff like that. And they put together this whole night where they had people speak, and they had DJs play, and they had food catered, and the whole thing was very, very cool. And they asked Alex to speak, and he was really nervous to do it. He was really scared. And he gave us just, and it wasn't like really a eulogy. We went to his funeral. Which was it was in Kentucky. It was outside of Lexington, Kentucky. Alex just gave us, Alex's mom showed up. She loved Jason too, and he just gave this, Alex gave this most amazing speech about his friend, you know, and it was just so beautiful and so pure. And It stopped. I could see it out of the corner of my eye. It's amazing what you think that you can't make it through. I can remember Alex at that time thinking, you know, he would say, I'm not going to be able to get through this. I'm not going to be able to get through this. Anyway, he was such a good guy. People were so nice. I can't remember who this was, but somebody sent us a star they named after Jason for Alex. Like, so many of you guys out there sent stuff to Alex, like, through me. Like, cards. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like, I would go to my P.O. box, and it would just be, like, all these cards for Alex, these condolence cards. It was just amazing, you know? Like, I don't know, we talk about the ugliness of YouTube a lot, but there's just such beauty, too, in the connectiveness to the humans out there. Like, you guys are just fantastic to me. You've been fantastic to my husband and my family, you know? And, there's so many things I remember, you know, just like through the years. I remember, this was a couple years ago, Hassie, I think she still watches the vlog. Hey, Hassie. And, we got like this big box in the mail at the post office. I was like, what is this? And she like bought presents and wrapped them for Carlos and Sebastian, Carlitos and Sebastian, my nephews. It was so sweet. You guys are just like always so good to us. And, you know, like when Pee-Pee died and we were in Mexico, like I just couldn't be on social media. It was just too much for me. But like Alex, like I can remember sitting there in the hotel one night and he was like, people are so nice, Peter, that like watch your vlogs, you know, like there was a little bit of ugliness that occurred, but I mean 99% or whatever, you know, of what we received was just overwhelmingly beautiful. And it just was so helpful to him during that time, you know, and it just was beautiful, and I just want to thank you guys for that. You've always been there when I needed you, whether it was to take a break and not make videos, or whether it just was for support in the comment sections, or for emails or messages that you guys give. You just have been amazing. And now let me get back to where I started this whole story. So Courtney, I went to Reve with, which Reve was so cool. So I don't really know how to explain it. So it's a fundraiser, but like every restaurant in Indianapolis, like every major restaurant, even if it was like a cookie place or a bakery or whatever, like they had a booth set up. So there was like 100 restaurants there. Well, you bought a ticket. Now the tickets are expensive. The tickets are like $300. I didn't have to pay for it because Courtney she had been comped 2 tickets. So she asked me if I wanted to go, and but it's a fundraiser and all the money goes, we're gonna buy tickets this year. Like we talked to Melissa and Jason. It was supposed to be this month, but I guess they moved it to August. So we're gonna go with Melissa and Jason. Because I think it has something to do with the Children's Hospital. It's a fantastic fundraiser. So anyway, they speak, and at the end of the night, everybody dances on the racetrack. It's really, really cool. I could get sad again because the last thing I remember is seeing Jason had on like a bow tie. He's real tall. Jason was like 6'5", 6'6", something like that, maybe even taller than that. And he was bald, and so he was wearing like a stocking hat, like with a suit and stuff out there. And I can remember us dancing and me seeing Jason above like the crowd and stuff. But it just was so cool. Like you just went from like venue to venue to venue, and or not venue, it was like these like 4 big like rooms. It was low lit, and it was beautifully decorated, lights everywhere, and everybody was dressed up. And it was literally like each stand was probably about like 20 or 30 feet across, and then they had it decorated like their own restaurant or whatever. And so you would go, and if it was like I'm trying to think of something that would be like a chain. Okay, like if it was like Cheesecake Factory, right? Well, let's make it something that everybody would understand. You know, like if it was like, because I know everybody hasn't been to Cheesecake Factory because there's not in every town, you know? Like if it was like a Taco Bell, like you'd go and then they would have like maybe like mini like burritos, okay? And then they would also have like, let's say like a cup of like they would have maybe like a glass that you could get of like the Baja like mist or something, right? And then they would have like the Cinnabon rolls, like they would have 2 of them in a little cup. So it wasn't like a major side, but it was enough. And you could go back as many times as you wanted to. So like, let's say if like some of these steakhouses in Indianapolis, they would do like literally like, they would have like mini fillets that were like this big, and then they would have, which I don't eat obviously, but then they would have like a little baked potato, like they would have like a half of a baked potato, and then they would have macaroni and cheese and like asparagus, and you could go up there and you could get as much or as little as you wanted to. It was so cool. And then at the end of the night, when all the restaurants started closing down, there's this real famous, I think it was Long's Bakery. There's this real famous donut shop here called Long's. I think it was Long's that did this. And all of these vendors all over the place were like, there was these donut shops that you could buy. There was one, we were walking to the dance floor. Courtney and I were walking to the dance floor at that point. She did stay, and did she stay until then, or was that she had left already? Because I was sitting with her waiting for Melissa and Jason, and then I think she left. No, she stayed till the very end. She stayed till the very end, and I took her back to her car because we met halfway there. Where did my lip gloss go? I don't know. Yeah, she stayed till the very end. Well, not till the very end, because we didn't stay till the very end. She and I stayed together till the end, and then I drove her home, or drove her back to her car. And, but we were like, oh my God, because, we were walking with her and Melissa. Courtney and I were walking with Melissa and Jason, and Alex was already on the dance floor. So we like passed this thing, and they have all of these donuts. And it's not just like glazed donuts, it was like all kinds of donuts. And it was like, and they had like coffee and stuff out there. It was the coolest thing. That was such a fun night. I was really glad that I stepped outside my comfort zone and did that. I have no idea where my lip gloss went. I'm pissed about it. Isn't it amazing how something can fall down? And it just like falls down here, and then all of a sudden it like goes back and whatever. But the reason I was talking about Courtney was because Courtney was actually part of the filming of Living Dolls, because Courtney did pageants like since she was like 3 years old. So she knew all of these people that were in this pageant. So like when I first met Courtney, we started talking about, I don't even know how we talked about it. We were out one night, and I said something to her about, oh my God, there's this, I said something like, now how long have you been doing pageants for? And she was like, this is when we first met. She was at our wedding too. And she was like, since I was like 3. And I said, really? I said, oh my God, I was obsessed with a show back in the day that was on HBO. And she goes, Living Dolls. I go, how did you know the title of it? And she goes, because I was part of it. You can see me in the background of some of it. And she's in the background of some of it, but they didn't use like her part. I guess they filmed her for it, but they didn't use her part or something. But she knew the 2 guys that, they had a daughter named Leslie, and she was like this big pageant girl in it too. And they like, it was like this gay couple, which she said they're broken up now, which is real sad because they were real sweet in the movie. They did like pageant coaching. And then she knew like everybody that was involved in all of it. So anyway, that's what was making me think about Courtney. But if you watched the vlog for a while, I got obsessed with it again about, it was probably like a year ago. Okay, so this is what I was gonna say. Like, we are really backtracking through like loops and all this kind of stuff, okay? Was that I'll have watched shows in the past, and then something will remind me of it. Like when I was talking about that Lisa movie the other day, okay? I always thought that movie was called I Saw What You Did, I Know Who You Are. But apparently it's called Lisa with Cheryl Ladd, and which I still haven't watched, and I need to. But anyway, so I'll start thinking of like something that I saw when I was like younger, and I'll be like, oh my God, I want to watch it again, right? Well, there was this documentary series that was filmed in Indiana, and it followed like 5 kids. It was like, the poster looked like The Breakfast Club, and it followed like 5 kids, and I think it was on PBS, and it was called I think it was called American High. Let me see. American High documentary. Let's see. Here's American High episode 3. That doesn't look like it. Hold on a second. No, this isn't it. Oh wait, maybe it is. It is. Yeah, this is it. Highland Park. Was this the one? There were two of them that I watched. Hold on a second. Anyway, it was about this group of high school kids, and like they're literally probably 35 now. American high school. I'm looking it up on here. A documentary. Series. Well, anyway, at the very, very end of it, it's like pulling up weird stuff. Oh, here it says Highland Park, Illinois, but I feel like maybe this is a different one. It's an American documentary television show with the lives of 14 students, and this is different. Located in the city of Highland Park, Illinois. The series originally aired on Fox and was canceled after 4 episodes. It was later picked up by PBS and aired in its entirety. Okay, this was actually a really, really good documentary, but this is not the documentary that I'm talking about. So anyway, the documentary that I'm talking about, I cannot remember. I'm going to look it up through this way in a second. But at the very end, when this girl packs up her car, she's like the artist and she's moving, they play this song. And the song is called Adventures in Solitude by the New Pornographers. And it's literally bone-chilling when you see the scene because it's such a great song for like the ending of an era. Let me see if I can... Adventures in Solitude in documentary. I wish I could remember what that... American Teen. It's called American Teen. Okay, so... How would you ever know to look it up that way, would you? I'm simply the best. Okay, American Teen documentary. Now, you can get this on iTunes because I did. I watched the whole thing like a year ago or 2 years. It was longer than that. It was probably 2 years ago in the vlog I started talking about it. And I was like, oh my God, it was so good. And I watched it again, and then that's when I that's when I downloaded the song. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. You can watch it now on YouTube for $2.99. And 4 high school seniors navigate their way through the ups and downs of their life in their small Indiana town. Hannah, a bright and pretty, but a misfit. Hannah is bright and pretty, but a misfit who wants to move to California after graduation. Colin, a basketball player, feels intense pressure to make his town and family proud and earns a sports scholarship. Jake is painfully shy in a group. Megan is smart, pretty, and wealthy and rules the roost of school. Popular Mitch risks his social status to date Hannah. It's a really, really, really good show. I wonder where they are today. And at the time I started saying I wonder where they are, and I was looking them up on Instagram and all this kind of stuff because I watched the whole show, but it was so good. But anyway, so but I would highly recommend that documentary. It's really good. Oh, and here it is. So the cover is... So this is the poster for the documentary. I don't know if you guys can see it. Here, I'm gonna show you. This is American Teen, and the documentary is like the cover of The Breakfast Club, right? So that's why I downloaded that song. I have to tell you that most of my songs that I have Unless it's something I just randomly hear. Like, there is some kind of story to it. So, like I suggested, let's go in here and find out what the story is of my music. Okay, that was a long story to get to that. You guys are like, okay, Peter, we're probably going to get through 2 songs in this this documentary. But those are 2 things that I would highly recommend. American High. Here, I'm going to screenshot it because I want to watch that. And then American Teen. Those are 2, and then I also would recommend, and these came out like forever ago. This American Teen, when did it come out? Oh shoot. Release date 2008. So I mean it's as old as the hills. And the other one is even older than that. The other one's probably like 5 years older than that. But, the other one I would recommend watching is Living Dolls, which is actually on, I think this is on YouTube. Hold on a second. Yeah, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. Oh Lord, right underneath here, it's men who wear women's second skins. Is that about killers or? Okay. But if you go underneath here, there's a playlist. And it's Living Dolls Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. It goes all the way through till Part 9 at the very end. And literally every one of these screenshots is either the mother that passes away afterwards, which is really sad, or it's Swan Bruner. So, you should go check it out. Why do I feel like this is not the one with the girl Jenny? I feel like that was a different documentary that I watched. Oh, shoot. It had this girl named Jenny in it. What was it called? Oh, here it is. Jenny Foster. What was she in? Was she, if it says that she was in this. Is this her? Jenny Foster. Why are they... Oh my god, there's 2 ads in this, so I can't play. Yep, that's her. But what's the show? It doesn't say what the show is. These are 2 different documentaries. Because, yeah, they are. They're 2 different documentaries. Jenny Foster. I'm sorry, you guys, but I want to know what this is. So Living Dolls is one that you should watch. And then the other one is... It wasn't Toddlers and Tiaras. It's pulling up Toddlers and Tiaras, but I know that that's not it. Okay, was it? It's saying A&E here. I think it was an A. Over the weekend, I caught the end of the A&E special on child beauty pageants. This is from 1999. The one featuring a teenager with cystic fibrosis who lost in part because of her professional type modeling. She's the one who jerked and flailed her limbs as she walked down the runway. It was called, they called it something in the pageant. I can't remember what I called it. They don't do that anymore. Anyway, the story had an addendum that said that the girl Jenny died last month of her disease. She was 14. I was surprised that she was so young. What was the show, I wonder? Okay. A&E documentary about beauty pageants. Jenny Foster. This is ridiculous. It's pulling it up, but it's not saying what the title. 10 special on. Anyway, it's on. I watched it not too long ago, so I know this is the one where the woman at the end is like, "That's what friends are for good times." But it doesn't say what the documentary is called on here. I wish it would. I wish it would. But it doesn't matter. I'll figure it out one of these days. Okay, let's go in here and do the songs and music because I made you guys wait long enough. And you're probably like, I don't care. So let's go in here to songs and let's shuffle and see what comes up. Okay. I Lived, One Republic. Now, I downloaded this song. I actually like One Republic a lot, but a little secret about Peter that you might not have known. I was a Gleek of the week. I was obsessed with the show Glee. I loved the show. I bawled my eyes out when it ended. And the very last song that they play is I Lived by One Republic. And it's when they all marched in at the very, very end. I think that's the last song. It's fantastic. See, if you've never seen the finale of Glee and you watch Glee, you should watch it. It's great. This is so funny because someone that I used to know by the Glee cast, tons of my songs and my iPod are from the Glee cast. Because I would watch an episode and then I would download the song. Let's see. I've Seen That Face Before by Grace Jones. I was obsessed with Grace Jones when I was in high school. I still love her music. I have her albums, and I have her tapes, and I have her CDs, and I have her on here. There's a movie called Frantic, which is with Harrison Ford, and I cannot remember the name of the actress. Her name is like Emmanuel something. And it's about a doctor that goes to Paris with his wife, who was actually the mother in 8 is Enough, I believe. And they go to Paris for a business trip. And while he's taking a shower, she said that she's going to like go down to the store and get something. They mistake him for somebody else, and something like got stolen at the airport. They think he's like somebody that he's not, and they kidnap his wife. And so he goes on the run. It's a really fantastic movie if you've never seen it. It's a great thriller, and the music is incredible in it. And they go into this nightclub one night. She takes him, this girl helps him, and this French girl, and she takes him into this nightclub, and the song is playing, and then later she has it playing on her car too. So I became obsessed with that song at that time. Anyway, Fall on Me by REM. So I'm a huge Michael Stipe and REM fan. I loved them in high school. REM was probably one of my top 5 favorite bands when I was in high school, with the Smiths, The Cure. Let's see what else. The Smiths, The Cure, REM. I loved, well, there were about 10 bands in high school that I was really, really obsessed with. I loved the Indigo Girls. I loved REM. I loved the Jesus and Mary Chain. I love the Smiths. Did I say that already? And The Cure. Smiths and The Cure. And Smiths, The Cure, and New Order were probably my 3 biggest bands in high school. I loved the Violent Femmes. I loved, who else? Just a lot of different music I loved. And, oh, who's the one that was really good she's from Athens, Georgia, too. So REM is from Athens, Georgia. But I can't remember what her name is. It's like, she's totally skipping my mind. She has a song, Carnival. Natalie Merchant. 10,000 Maniacs. I love 10,000 Maniacs and Natalie Merchant. I should actually go in and download some 10,000 Maniacs songs that I don't have. I'm always constantly, like, downloading new music. Let's see. What I like to do is go in and look at, like, songs that I haven't heard for, like, a long time. These are days because the night. I'd have to go in here. I don't like the weather. Oh my God, I love that song. I'm downloading that song. Do you guys remember the song, I Like the Weather? Trouble in the Sky. So yeah, that's why I have REM. I love everything by REM. Well, not everything, but like I like their older stuff better actually. What's another, like, it doesn't have very many of their songs here. What's the Matter Here? There Are Days Don't Talk. Hey Jack Kerouac. This was the album I had. Why can't I remember? What's the most famous 10,000 Maniacs song? These Are Days. You know what I'll tell you I love is that Natalie Merchant song. And actually, if you've ever watched the documentary, the second documentary on Eileen Wuornos, the last song they play is the Natalie Merchant song Carnival. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Why isn't it pulling up any songs? This is weird. Natalie Merchant. Did something really weird tonight. I love that song. I'm buying it. Carnival. I'm gonna sit here and buy a bunch of songs I don't need, is what I need to do. So I need to get, oh my God, that song, Ophelia. Do you remember that song? I need to go in and actually listen to songs and see if I want them first. Okay, so let's go in. And the next song that comes up is Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding. Okay, so this is embarrassing to admit, but this is from 50 Shades of Grey. Tanya and I went and saw 50 Shades of Grey. And we took her, Tanya's niece, who was like very serious about seeing the movie, and Tanya and I like laughed the whole time that we were sitting there watching it. But I had read all 3 books, so I had to go see the movie and find out what happens. I didn't love the movie, but that song was stuck in my head, so I downloaded it. Okay, When You Believe by Candace Glover. I used to be a huge, huge American Idol fan, and whenever they would like sing a song that just blew me away, I always downloaded it. Okay. Back on the Chain Gang by the Pretenders, one of my favorite songs in high school. One of my friend Jenny and I, we used to listen to it all the time. Okay, It's Not Right, It's Okay by Glee, the cast. Okay, What About Us by Pink. I don't really know, I'm like a huge Pink fan. I don't really know why I like, why I downloaded that. I have no idea why I downloaded that song. Tomorrow Is a Long Time by Bob Dylan. I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan. My mom got me started on Bob Dylan when I was very, very young. But this was in a movie, and I can't, this was a song I downloaded actually like in the last year or two, and I heard it in a movie or a TV show. I think it was actually something that Alex was watching, and I was like, oh my God, I love that song. Like, I forgot all about that song, because my mom used to play Bob Dylan albums all the time when I was a kid. So I downloaded the song. I Should Live in Salt by The National. Fantastic song, by the way. No Surrender by Bruce Springsteen. Okay, so my dad is a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, and he used to play a lot of Bruce Springsteen when I was growing up. I was watching something some night and it had this song in the background and I had forgotten. And a lot of the songs that I download are things that I've heard, like, oh, I'm watching a TV show or a movie and it's in the background. And the song was in the background and I was like, I have forgotten about that song. And if you've never heard the song, listen to the live version. This is the one that's live at, no, it's not going forward anymore. Live at Meadowlands and Meadowlands Arena. East Rutherford. It stopped while I was giving you the info. Okay, so this is the live version of No Surrender at the Meadowlands Arena at East Rutherford, New Jersey, and he's from New Jersey. And this is 1984. If you've never heard the song is absolutely, I think it's 1984, didn't it just say that? The song is so fantastic, it's so chilling, and I don't know, I was like watching, it was in a movie, I think, 1984. It was in some movie that I saw, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot about this song. My dad loved this song back in the day, and he would sing at the top of his lungs. And my dad, little unknown fact, my dad and my stepmom, their very first date was a Bruce Springsteen concert. Okay. I don't know what the song is, Where to Go, Dusk. Some of these songs I'm like going through because I've never heard of them before. I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles by the Proclaimers. I love this song. If you've never seen the movie Benny and June, get on it. The movie Benny and June with Johnny Depp is fantastic. And one of my favorite scenes is, I can't think of the girl's name now, but she was also in the movie Some Kind of Wonderful, which I love that movie. And she's standing in the kitchen, and she's June and he's Benny, and he comes downstairs. He dresses like Charlie Chaplin through the whole movie. If you've never seen Benny and June, it's fantastic. And she looks at him, and he just kind of stops and looks at her, and she says, having a Boo Radley moment, are we? And it's one of the most fantastic lines in any movie ever. So anyway, any reference to Boo Radley, I love. Okay, let's see, next song. Budapest by George Ezra. Okay, so like I was talking about this the other night. There's two songs, Budapest and Barcelona by George Ezra. I don't know how I found out about him. You know, a lot of these songs, I'll just be sitting there like watching some TV show and I'll just like Shazam it. So that's a lot of where these songs come. Upward Over the Mountain by Iron and Wine. A friend of mine got me listening to them. I don't know some of these songs. Slow Show by The National is probably my all-time favorite The National song. And one of my very dear friends, I've talked about him a little bit on here before, that he and I hung out. We went to the Waffle House and did all that kind of stuff, and then he went back out there. He got me hooked on The National. We would sit outside this whole one summer. He and I would like sit outside at night. Like Alex would go to bed and I would like go over to his house. And we would sit on the patio and just talk and drink coffee and stuff. And he would play The National, and I kind of like fell in love with the music. And here's another song from Body Heat, I'm Frightened. A Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues is probably one of my most favorite songs in the entire world. I'm not a huge Pogues fan, but I do love some of their songs. This is my friend in high school. She made this tape for me. And it had like all of our favorite songs on it, and had this song on it. And if you've never heard this, this is kind of like a story of two people fighting. And the Pogues are an Irish band. And this is all about Christmas. It's kind of like a Christmas song, kind of. Like these two people that get drunk on Christmas. And one ends up in jail in the drunk tank. It's kind of a story about that. But anyway, it's considered kind of like, back in the day it was considered punk. But my friend made me this great tape, and I still have it in my basement, and this is like the first song on the tape. Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. I've just always loved that song. I'm a huge Katy Perry fan. So years ago, we got to go to the DirecTV Super Bowl party when the Super Bowl was here in town. And we got to stand like 2 feet away we got like special access. We got to stand like 2 feet away from Katy Perry. I love Katy Perry. Just pulled up. This song called Booty Bounce by Tujamo is hilarious. I have tons and tons of like Latino music, and this is one of them, but it's kind of like a Latino dance song. Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey. Okay, interesting story about this. This is the Cascade mix. So when Alex and I went to Ultra, I think it was our very first year that we were at Ultra. I had gone to get Red Bulls, And like the VIP section is like, it goes like this. So, and it's like really high raised. You're like 100 feet in the air. And I had gone to get Red Bulls, and he was standing over here, and you had to like walk all the way down here and up this little ramp of stairs, and then all the way over here to the bars. And so this was like our song. Like, this was one of the songs that was like our song. We both loved this song. And we were so excited to hear Cascade, and like Cascade had just started, and he was playing some song I didn't really love, and so I looked at Alex and I said, do you want a Red Bull? He said, yeah. So I went to go get us Red Bulls, and as I was like turning with these Red Bulls, he came on with the song, and which was actually originally, Young and Beautiful is originally from The Great Gatsby, the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And I ran down there, and Alex and I were both crying and dancing and stuff, and it's just like a really happy moment that we have about Ultra. Okay, A Beautiful Mess by Jason Mraz. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. I heard this song like a year ago. I don't even remember really where I heard it, but I downloaded it. Okay, some of these songs. Moments Aren't Moments by Dionne Warwick. So, this is actually, if we're looking at it like I am right now, it's the cover of the movie, which is The Woman in Red with Gene Hackman. And, not Gene Hackman, what's his face? Why can't I think? It's right in front of me and I can't see. Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder that played in the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka or whatever. It's just this great movie, but there's like this one moment, and there's like a lot of Dionne Warwick music in the movie and Stevie Wonder music. I love the whole soundtrack, and I have a tape somewhere, but you can't play tapes anymore. So anyway, I downloaded this song, and I couldn't believe this in there. But this is like, this song kind of is the epitome for me of like the romance kind of sultry scene in any movie that came out in like a romantic comedy in the 80s. And this movie's like, this song's like, there's actually snapping in it at the beginning, and it's just a really great song if you've never heard of it. It's called Moments Aren't Moments by Dionne Warwick. I Who Have Nothing by Shirley Bassey. Well, I love Shirley Bassey anyway, if you've never heard her, but Erica Andrews, who has been my favorite female entertainer of the world. She was a Miss Continental. She was a National Entertainer of the Year. She passed away several years ago. If you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, she was Roxy Andrews, drag mother. I had the good fortune of seeing her many, many times perform, and she just was amazing. And for her winning talent at National Entertainer, she did I Have Nothing by Shirley Bassey. Well, it was kind of like that mixed in with like script to Mommy Dearest, and so like, that's why I downloaded that song. I don't know that song. Stand By Me by John Lennon. I love that version. Gucci Gucci by Kreayshawn. I know every word of the song. Don't Happen Twice by Kenny Chesney. I love that song. I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton. The original is the best. Hands down. And the part where she talks, I cry every single time. All I Could Do Is Cry by Etta James. I'm a huge like old school like blues and jazz fan. And Janis Joplin talked about this song, and I believe it was referenced in the documentary. So Janis Joplin was a huge Etta James fan, and she also loved Odetta, and she referenced this song in, I think, the movie Little Girl Blue, but I could be wrong. It may have been in the diaries. I read her diaries called Dear Love Janis too. If you want to read Janis Joplin's like letters to her sister, they're called Love Janis. They're fantastic. Pleasure Principle by Janet Jackson. I love Janet Jackson. Heaven or Las Vegas by Cocteau Twins. Okay, this was another song of mine that I loved in high school. It's if you've never heard of the Cocteau Twins, they're fantastic. Tiburon by Proyecto Uno. Okay, so Alex's brother, every time we're over there, he just like puts on YouTube and he puts on like reggaeton, like Latino music, and this song is always one that comes up. I have to tell you, I know almost like all the songs, and it actually samples a Sylvester song on here, which I love Sylvester. Each Tear by Mary J. Blige. I am a huge Mary J. Blige fan. Only a Dream by Mary Chapin Carpenter. Okay, so my dad listened to Mary Chapin Carpenter like when I was like in late high school, early college. And I loved her story. And if you don't know the story about Mary Chapin Carpenter, she's actually like a folk singer, country singer. I think she falls under country, but I consider her almost more of a folk singer. She wanted to be a country singer all of her life, and she would never take a chance. So her dad took her to Nashville. This is supposedly the story. Took her to a live mic, put her on a stool and said, play. I'm tired of hearing you complain about this, and the rest is history. She is absolutely fantastic. There's really not a Mary Chapin Carpenter song that I don't love. Every one of her songs is so haunting, or just descriptive of my life. There's a song she has called like Old Sweater, and it's about this sweater that she carries with her throughout her life. And this song, is this Come Grow Old With Me? Is that what this is? I think this is. Hold on a second. Oh no, this is Only a Dream. This is about a girl, like they move, and she keeps on moving, and like her sister moves out of the house, and then it's just her. And I don't know, there's just like, there's something so relatable to the lyrics of her songs, and they're always just so beautiful. They make you sad, they make you cry a river though. Except for like, there's two, like Passionate Kisses, which I love that song too, and He Thinks He'll Leave Her. Like, He Thinks He'll Leave Her is probably my favorite song of life. On the Beach by Nora En Pure. Okay, this is so funny. So, my favorite DJ ever in the entire world is Nora En Pure. I love her. And 2 years ago at Ultra, we didn't go this year, but 2 years ago, 2 times ago, we walked in, and I thought we had missed her set, because she always plays early, so I never get to see her. And she was playing out in the sun in this, at the World, like amphitheater thing, or the World stage right there. And it was so beautiful that day, and she was playing, and her hair was just kind of like blowing, and it was just real, just like plain but beautiful, long hair, and she just was like playing, and her music is just like so loungy, and I love it. And we sat there, and that was like my favorite set of the entire weekend. But anyway, what's funny is, when I was in high school, I was obsessed with this song called On the Beach by Chris. I don't even know, I should probably look it up. Chris, who is it by? I can't believe I even remember Chris, but anyway, it's that song. Chris Ray, yeah. Oh my God, I loved his music. I should download some of his music too. But anyway, he does the song On the Beach, and then she samples it for her remix of it, and it's fantastic. Okay, Money Changes Everything by Cyndi Lauper. This is kind of funny, actually. I love Cyndi Lauper so much, and I loved her when I was growing up. Cyndi Lauper was actually, like, junior high, like 5th grade probably through 7th grade, was like big for me. Like, she, like, I listened to a lot of her music, like, in my bedroom, you know, and stuff like that. But I was actually, this is why I'm laughing, I was doing some video about Dramageddon or something like that, and I couldn't remember the words, like, to them, so I started listening to it on YouTube, and then I just downloaded the song. I don't know that song. Dreaming of You by Selena. Oh my God. Well, I love the whole story of Selena. Like, I mean, I don't love it. I feel sad for what happened to her, but I remember seeing the movie with Jennifer Lopez, and honestly, at that time, that was probably my first introduction to knowing anything much about Selena. And at the same time, I kind of like think within the same couple year period, I watched like Los Lobos, or not Los Lobos, but oh, you know, the other movie with what's his face? I can't think of his name, but anyway, I love Selena's music now. I'm like obsessed with it, and I know a lot of her music. Como de Flor is probably my favorite song of hers, but I think it was this year that at the Miss Universe pageant they played Selena, and they played Dreaming of You, and it was right before I did my video with Arlena, and Arlena said that her favorite song was Dreaming of You by Selena, and it was so strange because I literally just downloaded it, so it was kind of like this really cool thing. 10,000 Miles by Mary Chapin Carpenter, another one of her songs. Turn the Page by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Okay, so Bob Seger for me, I grew up on. My dad loved Willie Nelson, Wayne, why can't I'm losing my, Wayne, not Jennings, what's his name? Why can't I not think of his name? Waylon Jennings. I've lost my damn mind. I am like starting to forget things. It's weird. I never thought that I would, you know, like, because I have such a great memory, I'm starting to forget things. So I grew up on that. I grew up on my dad's ZZ Top, but my dad loved Bob Seger. I love Bob Seger. My parents had really great, my dad loved Fleetwood Mac. My dad, I will never forget my dad when I was a little kid playing the Rumors album, the Fleetwood Mac Rumors album. But anyway, you know, I was so lucky that I grew up with parents that had really great music taste. So anyway, my dad used to listen to Bob Seger all the time. Well, when I started getting older, Bob Seger was probably, I wasn't like right away, like there was a time when I really couldn't stand like Willie Nelson and stuff, and now I'm like a huge Willie Nelson fan. But back then I loved like Bob Seger and all of that. Bob Seger is big drinking music. You can find him on any jukebox, just like John Mellencamp in the state of Indiana. You know, any jukebox in a bar, small, and I loved little small off-the-road bars like that. I know it's hard to believe, but I really did. And you can find any, so Bob Seger songs. I used to love to just sit at home and drink Jack Daniels and listen to Bob Seger. Turn the Page is probably one of my favorite songs. What's the song of his? It's like, Smoke the Day's Last Cigarette. That's not Turn the Page. But anyway, you smoked, is that? It is Turn the Page. So I love the lines, you smoked the day's last cigarette. And yeah, I just loved listening to him. He was big like drinking music for me. I loved Bob Seger back in the day when I used to drink a lot. I still listen to him, but like I don't love all of his music today. It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonks. The Honky Tonk Angels by Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, and Tammy Wynette. Okay, so I have one of my very best friends forever. He and I love like any kind of country cult following thing. We love like, you know, the movie Sordid Lives back in the day, and we loved like old school country music like Kitty Wells and Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette. I love all of that. Okay, I'm obsessed with it. So oh, by the way, can I just tell you, I don't know if you guys know who this person is, but we interviewed her for our website way back in the day. So Alex and I have a website. He does it all now, and he doesn't hardly post on it anymore. But back in the day, we used to interview quite a few people. And we interviewed Velvet D'Amour, who was, oh, so confident. I am obsessed with her. She was the world's largest plus size. Well, she didn't model plus size, she modeled. She was the largest model that had ever walked a runway, and she walked Jean-Paul Gaultier at 475 pounds, I believe. 375 pounds, maybe. 375 pounds in lingerie. And she got real famous because she wore a t-shirt and it says "Feed the Models." But anyway, we became very good friends with her, and she got Alex and I a wedding present. I'll never forget it. Showed up here in this big box, and it was actually a Tammy Faye Baker original album signed. Can you believe that? We have that in the house. I just about died when she sent that to us, because that's kind of some of the music that I love. But anyway, so my friend back in the day, my ex and I were going on a road trip somewhere, and he made us a CD. Well, his boyfriend made us a CD, but they kind of did it together, and it was called Country Divas, and it had all this music on here. Well, if you don't know, the three of them did an album together. I think it's called, shoot, now I can't see. Yeah, I think it was just called Honky Tonk Angels, but this song is so fantastic. They also do another song on here called Golden Thread and Silver Nimbles or something like that. I have that song on here too. I have a lot of Michel Teló music in here because he's the Brazilian guy, and I can't think of what the song is called. I don't know the words, but I know him to say them, but I don't know what they mean. But he's the one that the famous soccer player, I can't think of his name now, sitting on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, the really good looking soccer player, and he would do the thing with his arms, and it was to the song. Anyway, that's how I got famous. You Never Even Called Me By My Name by David Allan Coe. My dad used to listen to that song when I was a kid. The main title from North by Northwest. I Melt With You by Modern English. I mean, that is such a mainstay for late 80s. You have to have that music. My friends and I used to listen to that all the time. It's just so funny going through all this music. I don't know that song. Blowing in the Wind, the live version by Bob Dylan at the concert for Bangladesh. Okay, so I have the original box set album of the concert for Bangladesh. It has like Ravi Shankar on there, Bob Dylan, Neil Young I think is on there. It has like, it's like 4 records. It's fantastic. My mom did not smoke pot, but it kind of surprises me that she didn't. She used to play the concert for Bangladesh, the Ravi Shankar, if you don't know who he is. I don't know how to really explain his music. It's very kind of like meditation kind of music, like what you listen like to reading like Buddhist meditation books or something. And my mom would light incense and burn candles and play the concert for Bangladesh. But this is probably one of the best versions, live versions of Bob Dylan Blowing in the Wind that I've ever heard in my entire life, ever. His whole part on there is fantastic. I don't know. Oh, no. Okay. Caminito by Carlos Gardel. So I helped Alex's mom put this like video thing together for her and some of her friends, and she loves this guy. And so the only way that I could get the music into the video was if I downloaded the music too. This is so funny. Oh, we had so much fun. Alex's mom and I had so much fun putting the video together for his birthday, and then we did the video together for her like work thing with her friends. And this is like the Frank Sinatra of like Latino music, I guess. It's kind of how she explained it to me. Carlos Gardel. If anybody knows, explain it in the comment section below. But she loves this music, and so like I would download it, I would start playing it on the computer, and she'd be like, ah, and she'd start singing it, and she loved it so much. And so anyway, but I kind of like it. Go West by the Pet Shop Boys. I'm a huge Pet Shop Boys fan. There's not like really a Pet Shop Boys song I don't like. I love all of their music. And Liberation is my favorite song of theirs. I love the line, all the way back home at midnight, he had his head back on my shoulder or something. This song, Jackie Chan by Tiesto, is the bomb. I love this song so much. Let It Go by Zac Brown. I'm a big Zac Brown band fan. Lambada. I loved the song Lambada in high school. I used to drive my friends crazy. I don't know how I heard it. I heard it in some TV show or movie or something, and I ended up downloading it and by Kioma, and I now have it on here. It used to drive my friends crazy, that dun 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 dun. You know that song? Oh my god, it would drive my friends crazy. Okay, What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber. Alex like started singing that song. There's also somebody does a mix of it, and I liked it, and then I downloaded this, and I hate this version of it. Interesting Drug by Morrissey. So Morrissey's the lead singer of The Smiths. Loved him in high school. Cold Shoulder by Adele. I have tons of Adele's music on here. I love her. Better Than I Used to Be by Tim McGraw. More country. Love Etc. by Pet Shop Boys. One night I went in and I just like, this was actually not too long ago, like probably 2 months ago, I downloaded like 20 something. The battery's gonna die, hold on. Okay, I'm not gonna vlog for a whole lot longer because I do wanna finish up this book, or try to get this book finished tonight. But like 2 months ago I went through and I just downloaded a bunch of Pet Shop Boys music. Don't Swallow the Cat by The National. Stay With Me live by Bette Midler. Okay. So I'm a huge Bette Midler fan. If this was song, I think was in The Rose, and it's fantastic. If you've never heard of this version, it's so good. Here's another song, it's by Nacho and Chino, and this is another song that Alex's brother plays, and I can't pronounce it. White Daisy Passing by Rocky Vodolato. So this is such a great song, and this song has a lot of meaning to me. My friend Todd that I dated, that I said, you know, if you've watched my vlogs, that I thought would be the love of my life, and I would end up with him eventually, and when I found out he died several years ago, his life just took kind of like a really sad turn. He played this song for me one time, like a long time ago, and he said, every time I hear this song, I think of you. And to this day, like whenever this song comes on, I always kind of think of Todd, so like he's around somewhere. Ripple by Dustin and Eric D. Johnson. This is the version, so I love, you know, you guys know, I don't know if you know, but like, I love the Grateful Dead, okay? I have a long history with the Grateful Dead. This is the song Ripple, but it's done by somebody else, and it was in the movie Wild with Reese Witherspoon. And it was a pretty good version of it. Not the best, but I downloaded it. Springsteen by Eric Church, more country music. Celebration, Benny Benassi by Madonna. It's just a mix of one of her songs. I love Madonna. Don't Cry by Guns N' Roses, love it. See You Next Tuesday by Kesha. I love that song. Actually, there is a story to that song, okay? I had downloaded all of this Kesha music. I don't know why, but this is a long time ago, and Alex and I, we went to, I feel like I told this story not too long ago. Who was I telling it to? Maybe I was telling Tanya. Maybe it wasn't even on here. We met these people at, God, this story is so long. So, we had a friend of ours that owned a fashion blog website here in town. Alex and I, our website that we started as a local blog, and we got invited to all kinds of stuff. So we got invited to this thing as like the special guest honor to this thing, but they had actually flown in. They did like this, it was really cool. It was like this fashion show like out in the middle of nowhere in the country, and they like, the models like walked through this like field. It was very cool. But there were like some special guest people there. And one of the special guest people there was this guy that used to be on All My Children, and he and his wife, they owned a lash business, and they were starting like an eyelash business. This is so funny because like people always think like I know nothing about what I'm talking about and this kind of stuff. This is literally like 10 years ago that this happened. So, we became really good friends with them. And he like was in charge of the spa. Like he was in charge of like doing all this spa stuff at, it was either the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton, and I think it was West Palm. So anyway, they invited us down there. They were like, we're gonna fly you guys down here and come down here and all this kind of stuff for, the grand opening of our store. And we're like, okay, we didn't really, and he goes like, yeah, we'll just give you like, you know, free passes to the spa. So Alex and I, we were literally gonna fly in and fly out within 24 hours. And we were kind of like, let's just do it. So we did. And I remember we flew down there, and we had like sweat shorts on and stuff, and we brought our suits with us and just backpacks. And we went to the Ritz-Carlton, and we like spent the whole day at the spa there. We did like couples massages and stuff. It was so much fun. And then like we got ready in the evening, and there were like these two girls too. I can't remember. One of them was like local, but she had like, was like missed something and had been in like music videos and stuff. We became really close friends with her, and she was really nice. And she was with her mom, and she was like 19 or 20, and she was like with her mom, and her mom was kind of like her manager or whatever. And they were so nice and so friendly. And so then we go to this opening of this like show of this like lash extension. Like it was all of them that was like starting these businesses and stuff. And they like blocked off the whole street, and it was crazy. They had like all these people serving food on like roller skates and stuff. It was like unbelievable. The night went to like 4 or 5. Our plane left at like 7 or 8 in the morning. And so anyway, we like go back, and we have like we had no idea like these, because like everybody was like drinking and partying and whatever. They weren't concerned about getting Peter and Alex to the airport. And we were like, I think we flew in from like an airport that was like an hour away or something. We had no idea how we were gonna get there, right? This is kind of before the time of Ubers and stuff. It's really late at night. And so we're like, we didn't know what we were gonna do, and everybody just keeps on kind of like partying and staying up later. No, now we're gonna go to this place. No, now we're gonna go to that place. And I happened to say to this girl that was like 19, I said, we don't know what we're gonna do. Like, we don't know how we're gonna get to the airport or whatever. And I kind of started freaking out a little bit, you know, because safety is important to me. And she was like, well, let me talk to my mom. And so her mom was like, we're gonna take you guys, we'll take you to the airport. Let's go. We'll go get something to eat on the way. And I remember we ended up going to this like dive restaurant that was like literally like a 3-star waffle like house, but it wasn't a waffle house, you know, off the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, Florida, at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And we ate like chicken fingers. This is before I was a vegetarian. Chicken fingers and like, you know, waffles and fries. And we had such a great time. And we just sat there and talked like for an hour and a half. And then they drove us to the airport, and they dropped us off. They were so nice. And the mom was so incredibly nice. But Alex and I got to the airport, and we were the first, like there was nobody at the airport. It was so early, right? And I could not sleep. And finally, I just kept on playing this Kesha song over and over and over and over again on my iPod. I don't know why. Like, I just kept on like listening to the same song over and over. I have no clue why. And I fell asleep and on the airport floor, and I remember when I woke up, like Alex was like, babe, get up. He was like, you need to get up, we're getting ready to go. And I like woke up, and like when I fell asleep, there was like not one person in the entire airport, you know? And when I woke up, the entire airport was packed. And yeah, that was a really good trip. That was probably our 2nd year together. That's crazy. Okay, I don't know these songs. I See U Te Pego is the Michelle Taylor song that I was talking about. Asleep by the Smiths. Okay, I have a funny story about this, actually. So when I was in high school, I went to Florida with my orchestra because I played violin in my orchestra. So for my senior year, we went to Disney World to play at Disney World. And I became like it was like I had 2 good friends that were on this trip. One played clarinet, and she's the one that she and I had the same birthday, but we're a year apart, and she also played saxophone. But in the orchestra, she played clarinet. And then I had a really good friend of mine that played percussion, and she played drums in the orchestra. So the 3 of us were like diehard best friends, like even outside of orchestra. So we agreed that we were gonna go on the orchestra trip. So we went, and we took a bus all the way down there. Well, the 3 of us kind of became friends with another group of like 4 or 5 people, and all of us like hung out the whole trip together, and we had such a great time. But this friend of mine, it's so funny when I think about this, she ended up like having like this spring break romance, and my friend and I would sit, we had like this really nice bus. It was like, you know, like a really posh bus. Like we would sit there, and like we were in the very back, and we could see them, and they were like, you know, holding each other the whole trip, this couple. And like I would sleep, and I remember I was like, I just listened to that Smith song over and over and over and over again. It's a really short song too. This one part of like on the bus. So whenever I hear that song, I always associate it with the 2 of them. Let's see. I don't know some of these songs. One Day More by the Les Miserables cast. I just like that song. The Only Living Boy in New York by Simon and Garfunkel. I love Simon and Garfunkel. My mom listened to them constantly when I was growing up. Okay, Love and Affection by Joan Armatradon. One of my friends, actually my friend that tells me, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. She told me I needed to download this song. She said, you'll absolutely love it. And I have to tell you, it's like one of my, I can't stand this song. Like, I don't love it. I don't know what it is. I just like, I remember listening to it. I was like, she's like, have you ever heard of Love and Affection by Joan Armatradon? And I was like, and she asks me whenever I see her, she's like, don't you love that song that I told? I'm like, yeah. Like one day I was like, you know, I don't know what it is. I just don't really like that song. She's like, really? I was like, yeah, I don't know what it is. But anyway. Oh, Endless Love by Luther Vandross. Love that song. Mary Chapin Carpenter, I Guess He'd Rather Be in Colorado. It's just a tribute to John Denver. Okay. Turkish Song of the Damned by the Pogues, another Pogue song I love. Make You Feel My Love. That's a great Adele live cover of it. Forest by The Cure. Rise, Public Image Limited. Okay, that song made me feel so... You may be wrong, but you may be right. That song made me feel very confident when I was in high school. This Is What Makes Us Girls by Lana Del Rey. I love Lana Del Rey. Let's Wait a While by Janet Jackson. Box of Rain by The Grateful Dead. Into the Night by B.B. King. Let's end it there. Into the Night by B.B. King. Okay, so there's a movie. I was just telling Alex this the other night. We were watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and Jeff Goldblum was on one of the guest judges. And I said to Alex, I said, do you know that he's like in my favorite movie of life next to To Kill a Mockingbird? And he was like, what? And I was like, To Kill a Mockingbird's not even my favorite movie anymore. And he was like, what movie? And I go, Into the Night. I've told you this before. He goes, I don't think you have. I go, I've never told you about Into the Night. I know I have. He doesn't listen. But anyway, Into the Night is with Jeff Goldblum. And I've talked about it on here before. And Michelle Pfeiffer. It may be Michelle Pfeiffer's first movie. No, Scarface would have been her first movie. It is such a fantastic movie. And it's about this guy, and he can't sleep. And so he goes to the airport because his friend tells him to fly to Las Vegas. They live in Los Angeles. Tells him to fly to Las Vegas for the night. Like, I think to watch it, you have to buy it. Like, I don't think you can just rent it on one of these things anymore. But anyway, so he goes to the airport because his wife's having an affair on him and he's depressed. And that's Jeff Goldblum. And so his friend, who is Dan Aykroyd, says, go to the airport, fly to Las Vegas for the night, like, all this kind of stuff, right? So he plans on doing that, even though he's not, like, real committed to the idea because he's got insomnia. And he goes to the airport, and Michelle Pfeiffer is coming out, and she's running from these guys because she has smuggled in, like, 6 perfect emeralds from the Shah of Iran. And so, like, it's them going all over Los Angeles trying to, like, hide these emeralds and stuff like that. They're being chased for them, and so David Bowie's in it. It's got, like, there's cameos from so many different kinds of people in it. It's really, really a good movie, and I love it. I don't know why it's my favorite movie. I think that, like, when I was in high school, and I really just, like, couldn't escape, like, all of the BS that I felt from people, you know? Like, it was a movie that, like, I could watch and I could think to myself, I can just escape any moment that I want. Like, I could just, like, leave if I wanted to. Like, I always had that thought in my head, you know? So I think that's why I love that so much. Anyway, all right, that was kind of fun. You guys probably were like, Peter, that was so boring. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here now. Thank you guys for watching this vlog to its entirety. If you have made it this far, I really, really appreciate it. It looks like the sun is starting to come up and it's not that late. I'm like, maybe it's just the way that the moon is or something, but it's cloudy out, so I don't know what the light is from. Anyway, thank you guys so much if you made it this far. I really, really appreciate it. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure to put a blue heart in the comment section for the wolf pack, and also put all different kinds of colored emojis for essential workers so that they can see when they go through the comment section is how much we care about them and love them. Please stay safe and stay healthy. I think out of everything right now, that's the most important, and try to stay sane as well. And thank you guys for letting me have a place to come and just goof off and talk and tell stories. And you know, I don't have a lot of people in my life anymore that haven't heard my stories 5,000 times. You know, Alex, Tanya, you know, my cousin Caroline, they've all heard these stories a million times. My friends from high school. So it's kind of fun to relive them. And I like that, you know, and it's fun to look back on my life and the good memories, and sometimes the sad ones too, you know, like, but it's fun. So anyway, thank you for allowing me this opportunity. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday, last day of April, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun today. Do something exciting. Start a new show, start a new book. And yeah, get prepared for the Eileen Wuornos month of May. Also, do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it, you know, tomorrow or next week or a year from now or 60 years or 69 years or even 70 years from now. Family friendly. But anyway, and if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say, I love you, you are valuable, you are important, you matter. Tell yourself good things about yourself. Whatever you need to hear, that you want to hear from somebody else, make sure you tell yourself those things too. And, you know, before you go to bed, say tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. And when you get up, say today is going to be an amazing day. It's going to be, I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day tomorrow. And I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day today. And if tomorrow or if today doesn't go the way that I want it to go, well, I can start my day over whenever I want. And, yeah. Don't forget that. You can start your day over whenever you want. If you're having a bad day, just go, okay, I need to take 5, take a break, and I can start my day over. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to other people and let them know how much they mean to you, especially during this really difficult time. Please reach out to some people that are alone out there and just say, hey, I just want to check on you, see if there's anything you need. I was thinking of you. I love you. And we could all hear it. It would be nice for all of us, you know. And is that it? Oh, practice random acts of kindness and don't tell anyone. Like I always say, that's the most important part of that. Just do it because it's the right thing to do, or it feels good, or it's nice. It's this overwhelming amount of peace come over me in the last few minutes. This has been really nice tonight, just to sit here and kind of talk and relive some old memories. So thank you for that. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.